Hi everyone, it's Laura with the University of Minnesota Extension, and we are going to be potting up the begonia from my office that has root rot. So this is the begonia in question from the last video, and what we want to do is try to remove as much of the substrate from that white pot here that it was in, just because sometimes bacteria and fungi and other issues are still in the substrate, and so we want to make sure we remove it. So I'm just taking my fingers and gently kind of teasing that away. This begonia had a couple of different crowns, and so if you do end up having a plant that has that, you might end up removing one completely. So we can see that this one, while it's still alive, is really dried out, so I'm not going to try to rescue this one. But we have two healthy crowns left over, and so I'm just going to gently break those apart. And then what I want to do is remove all of these soft or crispy leaves. All right, so now that I've done that, this one has a little bit more roots left on it compared to this one, but I'm quite confident that it'll be just fine. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a new pot, and you'll see it's about the same size as the glazed pot, but because this is an unglazed terracotta, I know it'll dry out more, so I'm not too worried about overwatering. I am going to grab new potting mix and crumble it up in my fingers just to break up any bigger parts and fill my pot most of the way up. Now, I picked a potting mix that has a little bit larger pieces of bark in it, and that's to help with drainage, which the begonias will benefit from. So this is about how high I'm filling up my pot. I'm not pushing down any of this potting mix. And then I'm just going to set my begonia pieces into this potting mix, and holding up the leaves that are still good, I'm going to then add a little bit more potting mix and kind of firm in the base or the crown of the plant just so it doesn't tip over. I'm going to add my second crown here, and this one's root system is a little bit more delicate, so I'm going to make a little hole with my fingers to let those roots kind of drop down, and then I'm going to pinch that substrate back around. So now I'm going to gently water in the substrate on top so that these plants are watered in. The roots can start to grow and expand. And then I'm going to make sure that I put this begonia out of direct sunlight for a little while, but also put it in somewhere that's not going to get a cold draft.